Take a moment to think about yourself during elementary school. Are you sitting at your desk quietly? Are there other children around you fidgeting? Are you able to be solely focused on the information that your instructor is providing to you? As a parent and an educator, I want children to do well. Understanding how attention span influences learning can help to make instructional plans more effective. Breaking up instructional time for elementary students by providing short physical activity breaks can improve focus and increase physical health. Physical activity breaks are imperative. The research supports that there is a need to break up instruction time. Exercise is valuable for cognitive function and important for physical health. I've been an early childhood educator for over 5 years. I work with children daily, and I've attended many classes and trainings focused on early childhood education. First, I will explain the factors that influence a child's focused attention span. Next, I will describe how physical activity breaks increase cognition. Finally, I will talk about how short physical activity breaks support physical health. My primary concern is that children have a limited attention span. The average focused attention span varies by age. According to a 2010 article written by Dr. Pam Schiller on a child's attention span is approximately 1 minute per year of age. This means that a 5-year-old child should be able to focus for approximately 5 minutes. The same article suggests that you could increase or decrease this attention span. It's dependent on factors such as room decor, their interest in the subject, and other people around them. In 2015 study published in the Journal of Experimental Psychology, researchers measured how attentive elementary students were during class and discovered that they spent over a quarter of the time distracted. They were unable to focus on the teacher or their current task. They also determined that long lessons were not effective. Using several shorter 10-minute lessons works better for children. The attention span of an elementary child is limited, and shorter lessons lead to fewer distractions. Allowing for physical activity breaks can increase cognition. A study published in 2020 in the Science of Living journal examined how physical activity affects the brain. Researchers concluded that physical activity increases blood flow and oxygen reaching the brain. This combination boosts neural connectivity and stimulates the nerve cell growth in the hippocampus. That's the center of learning and memory. Exercise actually changes the structure of the brain, and this change benefits attention span, memory, brain activity, and cognitive functions. The previously mentioned 2020 study published in the Science of Living journal also found that the brain was very active even during physical activity. The parts of the brain that were active are responsible for consolidating memories, reflecting on past experiences, and planning for the future. These functions can help a student to remember the lesson material and relate it to their previous knowledge. Physical activity also influences the brain to help with other classroom components. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Service published an article in 2020 that said students who are physically active tend to have better school attendance and classroom behaviors. These factors support good learning. You're now able to recognize that taking physical activity breaks is necessary due to short attention span, and that there are several cognitive benefits, but there are also many physical health benefits. Physical activity can strengthen your body for the future and lower your risk of developing serious health problems. The Better Health Channel published an article in 1999 in which the evidence suggested that physically active children are more likely to develop into physically active adults. In 2020, best-selling author Tom Corley wrote about the primacy effect, saying that the habits we forge in childhood stick with us in adulthood. If educators include breaks with physical activity into their daily schedule, it could foster a lifelong habit of body movement. Moving your body is important because in 2017, the American Council on Exercise reported that physical activity can reduce some diseases, including diabetes and high blood pressure. It can also lower the risk of depression. Overall, physical activity is important for your health. First, I explained the importance of considering an elementary student's attention span. Next, I talked about how cognitive functions are supported by physical activity. Finally, I discussed how being active promotes physical well-being. There are 3 important factors involved in considering physical activity breaks during elementary education instruction: the attention span, cognition, and physical health. So how many of you see the value of adding physical activity breaks to elementary school day? If you do, I urge you to take your own body movement break, and then after that, start talking to other parents, teachers, and policymakers to ensure that elementary children are able to obtain instructional breaks that focus on physical activity.